When people predict where cryptocurrency is going, I always find it kind of laughable. And the reason why I find it that way is because I feel like they're always trying to predict it the same way that the market they are accustomed to would move. So let's say you normally invest into the stock market. If you're normally investing into the stock market, what do you expect from that? Well, it depends on what you invest into. If you invest into growth stocks, you might look to gain 100%, 200%. Hell, you might end up losing money over that year, but over the long term, you expect to gain hundreds of percent as you are seeing those levels of growth because you're investing into growth stocks, technology sector, or AI, or whatever, right? But if you invest into the broader markets, you're expecting somewhere between a 5 all the way up to a 12% return in certain spaces, right? Depending on the research that you've done, right? So you're looking at more consistent returns. I probably look for somewhere around 5 to 10% in my dividend plays and my long-term investments and my broader market investments. Yes. But I never apply that same level of gains or same level of expectations to cryptocurrency. The reason why is because cryptocurrency is highly speculative. So if you are going into it and saying, I want to see a 10% return every single year, there's a likelihood where you won't see a single return for 3 years straight. And the reason why is because you might see a bear market that continues to plummet and continues to stay low until we see the impact of cryptocurrency because it is that speculative market right now. We don't have as much support, as much adoption, as much uses that are out there. So without those things, without that consistency, you see less of a consistent gain. So expecting the same level or greater returns than what you get in the stock market, you might not get that for that year. You might not get it for the year after that, or even the year after that. But you may end up seeing ridiculous returns when you do see a bull market. Now, when it comes to XRP's price predictions, that's kind of what I want to do in this scenario is go through the same type of price predictions or calculations that they kind of do in those situations. And then also go through where I believe these price predictions will be when what it will hit. Not at any given time, just different levels and different places that I believe it's going to get to. And if you guys want to see a lot of this content or hear a lot of this content, make sure you stick out throughout the whole video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for more of these videos. Also, make sure you check out some of the links down below. It does help out the channel. I have a link for BTCC if you guys are very interested in a new exchange, an exchange that's been around for 13 years, honestly. So it isn't new, but it's just new to you, right? Where you can have a 10% deposit bonus when you specifically use my link. You can leverage trade up to 500x leverage if you wanted to, as well as see 40% lower trading fees as you are making those moves throughout. I have a couple of trades that are going through. I talked about this in my previous video. Ethereum, Jasmine Coin, ADA. I plan on putting through a few more while things are at lower levels. But feel free to check out that link down below. If I did need to give you an update of where things are, I've talked about this again in my last video, but XRP is at $2.35, $3.5 billion worth of volume, $136 billion for a market cap. 58% of the supply that's out there, and the growth that we've seen over the last year is 280%, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm amazed by it, even though I expect to see it. I'm amazed by it. But I know that there's a lot more left on the table with XRP. Now, if we go into this prediction model, right, with Binance, I actually need to try and update this. So this prediction model with Binance will give you the current price of where it's at. Talk about whether it is bullish or bearish, and majority of people that are within it are bullish on it. But they also go through the growth calculation, right? And typically, when you see these calculations of what people expect in a broader market scenario, in a stock market scenario, is I want to see it grow by 10%, right? I want to see it grow by 10% for the next, 5 years. What can I gain from this? And honestly, to see something consistent would be great. But to know that you're going to get this, you're going to get much more than this in a speculative market and not something that you really average out over the next 10 years. You know that you're going to get a lot more as time goes on and as acceptance happens. But if we do see it at 10%, this is basically what we're looking at. And this is where all these prediction models really come from, where they have exactly what percentages you're gaining, right? You'll gain 10, average 10%, 12%, whatever, and they'll be very conservative to say that by April 16th, 2025, you'll be at $2.37 versus the $2.35. By 2030, you will be at $3.80. Now, while that does still seem great for a lot of people to be at $3.80, it doesn't seem like merely enough of growth for what we see within cryptocurrency. However, it is something that is safe for whoever is doing these prediction models, right? To say that you're going to gain an average of 10%, it gives you something to where you look forward to those gains, but it's not necessarily saying, oh, you're going to get $20 gain or $50 gain or $100 gain per coin, right? While I understand what the model and what cryptocurrency is going to be, stating that, yeah, we're going to see a $100 price point. And that's kind of what drives me into this next point, right? Yes, you can see all this level of growth, but it's more likely that you're going to see, if you wanted to see something consistent, not to just see 10% over the next 5 years, but to see 120% over the next 5 years. And if we calculate that, that gets us to $120 price point, $121.37, all the way up to 2030, as we do see that there. Meaning that in 2025, now this starts to get a little bit weird. It starts to jump as you, jump in years. But from 2025, you're seeing go 100+%. $5 to 2026, $11 to 2027, $25 to 2028, and $121 to 2030. Now, we all know crypto has a bear market within there. We're not going to see that consistent growth there, but eventually we will see that level of consistency, just with a lot lesser percentage. So I believe that we're going to hit a $100 price point. Now, why do I believe we're going to hit a $100 price point? Well, $100 at this given moment would be a $5.8 trillion market cap. That's not absurd. In my opinion, that's not absurd at all. I feel as though it can go so much further, but it still opens the door for us to hit some of these levels that are below $100. I still understand that some people would love to see it at 1,000, 10,000, 30,000 and see all of those scenarios play out. However, for just primarily like the gains within the positions that you have rather than use, you can accept a lot earlier, right? You can accept at $90 per coin, at $100 per coin, at $500 per coin. Of course you can. And that's what my expectation is when I do go through my my full breakdown of my exit plan. I told you that, right? I have certain places where I'm taking 5,000 at $25, or taking, 5,000 at $30, or 20,000 at $50, or whatever, right? But the point is that we're at reasonable market caps for what this can be. If you don't know what XRP is going to be, I stated in my last video, it's going to be the world reserve currency. It's going to be utilized in so many places, and so many banks, and so many institutions that you're not going to be able to get around it, right? Yes, you're going to have the ability to, use cash or use, other forms of payment, but it's just going to be more convenient and more secure, cheaper, and honestly, a lot quicker for you. So if you did learn it, or if the systems did learn it, it would be much more beneficial than utilizing the physical dollar there. Meaning that XRP is going to be used a lot more than you think, and it's going to be worth a lot more than you think. Now, again, this is all just my opinion. It's not saying it 100% will happen, but we have different forms of detail, different articles that are stating, and different announcements that are stating that XRP is going to be used as a reserve, whether it's a stockpile right now or actually being bought later on. It's going to transition into what we all know it should be, right? So to state that a $5.8 trillion market cap is too much for something that can be transacted through the world, not just the US. We're talking about, Canada, Mexico, continents like Africa, right? We're looking at China and Japan and many countries and everywhere around the world will be utilizing this. Everywhere that has the ability to access, you will be able to utilize it. And that's what's fun about it. That's what's amazing about it, is the unknown is what makes this so interesting to people like me and probably people like you that are searching for this video, right? And again, if you don't believe me, if you don't agree with me, everybody can have their own opinion. I'm perfectly fine with you guys having your own opinion. I'm not going to fight you on it. I believe what I believe, and if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, right? If I'm right, then I'm right. And obviously, I will say a lot that I am right there. I'll let you know when I'm wrong. I obviously won't go on and on and on about me being wrong, but I will go on and on and on about me being right, because if I'm right, when I'm right, many people become insanely wealthy, or at least have the opportunity to become insanely wealthy. So if you guys could, make sure that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell for more of these videos. Also, check out the link for BTCC down below, Twitter and Patreon. I'm going to get out of here. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.